Good afternoon. The war in the Middle East continues to rage as the 60-day memorandum of understanding, which was effectively abandoned, expired with no permanent deal reached or finalized, and there's no end in sight. Early this morning, the British military's UK Maritime Operations Center reported a projectile hit a vessel in the Strait of Hormuz, the same waterway Trump says is under the control of the United States. Apparently, no one has come forward to claim responsibility for the strike, though I would bet on the Iranians. Iran continues to make highly audacious demands that the United States pay reparations for war damages, among other things, as conditions for the full reopening of the strait. The Iranians appear to be playing games with Trump because I'm pretty sure they know that the United States will never agree to their demands. Reports from Tehran indicate that the Islamic regime is playing a game of waiting Trump out, that they're keeping the war going for 2 more years until Trump is out of office. In the meantime, the Iranians apparently are just going to string Trump along, since it's obvious that they aren't taking his saber rattling threats on Truth Social seriously. A little while ago, President Trump did post a statement on Truth Social. Trump is the commander in chief, so let me quote for you what he said. No, there are no talks or conversations going on or scheduled with the Islamic Republic of Iran. The naval blockade remains in full force and effect. The Hormuz Strait is open and operating. All mines have been removed or detonated. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. Now let me break this down. There are no talks or conversations going on or scheduled with the Islamic Republic of Iran. That's probably the case, and I don't believe Trump is lying there. Trump then said that the naval blockade remains in full force and effect. Again, I believe that is the case. The Hormuz Strait is open and operating. Now, is it though? Now, all water mines have been removed or detonated. Again, I would need a little information on that as well. Now, honestly, right now, I don't know who to believe. The White House says one thing, and then the Iranians will say something that completely contradicts Washington, and neither of them I'm fully believing. The news coming from the Middle East is that the talks between Iran and Oman over management over the Strait of Hormuz are being finalized. Yesterday, President Trump on Fox News threatened to bomb the bleep out of Oman, who supposedly is a U.S. ally. Apparently, Trump is frustrated with Oman over the Iranian talks and threatened to bomb them if they continue to, quote unquote, interfering in the negotiations with Iran, which the United States isn't involved in, according to Trump, unless he meant direct negotiations. Still, we've known that Oman has been negotiating with the Iranians for quite some time now. Why now is Trump threatening to bomb them to smithereens if they continue negotiating with Iran? Now, it's just total madness over there. Nothing really new. And I'm wondering, how the hell did we get entangled in all of the mess over in the Middle East? The Trump administration is criticizing our closest ally in the region, Israel, for a recent strike by Israeli air forces against targets in Syria. The United States ambassador to Turkey, Tom Barrack, who's also the top United States special envoy to Syria, said in a post on the social media platform X that, quote, "We are deeply concerned that the confirmed Israeli airstrikes on Abu el al Duhur air base constitute an unnecessary escalation that does not advance regional stability," unquote. And I probably mispronounced the name there. This apparently comes a day after White House envoy and the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met for high-stakes talks concerning disarmament in Gaza. Some have criticized Trump for being much under much too under the influence of Netanyahu, which isn't actually the case. I believe that he's more under the influence of the Arab oil states like the UAE and Saudi Arabia. I'm not going to comment on what Israel does in their own national security and defense, and they have a right to their own defense. The UAE has as a sovereign nation. The UAE Defense Ministry has just announced that their forces are on high alert after two ballistic missiles, most likely Iranian, though Iran hasn't confirmed that they have launched any missiles. Yeah, yeah, were launched against the UAE. The UAE is a Gulf ally of the United States. UAE's Ministry of Defense said in a statement on X, UAE air defenses detected two ballistic missiles launched from Iran toward the country, with the first falling outside the country's territorial waters, while the second fell within the territorial waters. The ministry also urged civilians to obtain all news from official sources in the country and to avoid rumors and false information. And seriously, yet it's madness over there. Yeah, I have read the Bible, and it has a lot to say about the Middle East and its prophetic destiny. And a lot of what I've read in the Bible, what they prophesied about the Middle East, seems to be coming to fulfillment. I know this might be disappointing for some individuals to know, but I am a Christian, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I also know that I also know that I talk a lot about military stuff, which I'm pretty sure my followers have probably noticed. I again talk a little about myself. I am an Army veteran and also an Army brat, so I guess it makes military issues kind of my forte. I'd say that it's probably one of my autistic special interests. I was also born in Germany, where my dad, an NCO in the end of the United States Army, was stationed at the time. Yeah, in the late 1970s. Some autistic people are interested in trains. Others are interested in politics, history, and war. Like, on to the subject of history. On this day in 1991, Soviet hardliners launched a coup in Moscow against Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev, who was placed under house arrest. The coup was led by several high-ranking members of the Soviet Communist Party and involved members of Gorbachev's own government, military, and police forces. Now, I remember watching all of this unfold on CNN, and it was actually a really awesome time to be alive, watching all of the changes taking place. Just just a few months after the failure of the coup, the Soviet Union, was no more. Now, yeah, it still gives me goosebumps. Hope that y'all have a great day and stay safe.